Yo!
Yo, what's up? Marco, give me a call.
How you doing, Matt?
Good, good. How are you guys?
Good, good. So Marco gave me a call, similar to what I did to him last week, or a couple weeks ago, where we had a special watch. He says he has a watch he wants to show me. We'll see what this is all about.
What's up, dude? My bad, I was a little busy. Didn't want to not say what's up.
I guess we have to
Ring the bell for assistance.
Go ahead.
Right? Ready?
let's see if someone comes out.
Look at that. Look at him. What was that? 0.2 seconds?
Always on
That was, maybe we need a bell at our place. What's up, dude?
It isn't the Wolvynators.
The Wolvyn.
What's up? What's up?
That Vacheron is coming in.
Vacheron's coming. Okay, perfect. These are my Vacheron boys.
So yeah, we got that coming in 2022.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Where do you see that watch?
What do you
No,
want
no, no. I want to see where they see it. Like, what's a no-brainer? What would you pay for that watch?
6.
Huh?
6. Just messing.
Okay, do not follow Wolvyn Luxury Time.
What are you doing, dude? He's so dumb.
Does your business have its own personal Mr. T?
Apparently they do. He said Christian got the same style haircut.
Comment down below if you think he looks like a miniature Mr. T.
Of course he does.
So what'd you call me over here for?
Oh, what are you wearing?
This is a 26238ST blue dial beast offshore.
What about a 25271ST?
That's sick, dude.
That looks like that.
That's beautiful dial.
Dude, this is sick because it's got the modern
All the
touches
modern,
to it.
yeah.
So I love the, oh my god, the biggest improvement that AP ever did, the smallest thing, is they added that feature that lets you remove the bracelet.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how many APs that I've had to change straps for, and oh my god, I grind my teeth every time because they're so
Hard to do.
difficult to work with because the screws are just this little head that you have to line up.
So if you don't know what we're talking about, these new
bracelet
offshores have in the end links right here, they have buttons, and so you just depress them, and there you go. Now you can change your bracelet.
All right, so let's go check these two watches side by side.
Sounds good.
All right, guys, we are here today to review two very famous watches.
So before we do this segment on the Beast, I'm going to start this. Can you tell the difference between these two watches? And we're not talking about the watches themselves, we're talking about the position the watches are in. So the difference is I laid mine down on the crown. You laid down yours on the case. Let's debate this.
Let's do it. Wrong.
Wrong.
No, definitely wrong. The crown is the most essential part of the watch because that's how you access everything.
100%.
Right, so what you're doing...
Is this a manual wine watch?
No, but...
Does it have a screwed down crown?
No.
It doesn't?
No, it doesn't.
Because now I'm debating whether you know watches or not.
Yes, it has a screw down crown, but to preserve the prettiness of the crown, we do not like to set the crown onto the table, onto anywhere, because it starts damaging the crown itself.
Perfect.
So why would you want to put the watch?
So I'm a dealer, not a consumer. I am a consumer, but at the end of the day, most of these watches, they're
But are you a
they're
consumer,
in
not a
inventory.
consumer?
I am, but I'm managing inventory, and I wear inventory that we own. To me, if we're gonna sell a watch, I want to preserve its condition as best as possible. So if I set it on the case, now you're having to repolish a watch.
What?
They scratch. The cases scratch. If you move them around, if you have it here on the counter and it has a pebble or some dirt and you move it around by accident, it's gonna scratch the case.
Well, wouldn't it just as much scratch the crown as it would the case?
100%, but a crown is much easier to replace and they're not that expensive if you do damage it.
Okay, what does it cost to buff out a small scratch versus what does it cost to replace it?
I'd rather have a replaced crown that's brand new than a polished watch. With watches that are screw down crowns, it does not apply tension to the movement because the tension's on the screw part of the crown. That's my argument.
I don't know. I'm going to be team. Actually, you guys in the comments, what do you guys say? Do you guys prefer the watches sitting on the side or do you guys set them on the crown? You guys don't count who do this. You guys are just freak of natures.
Unless you have a Beast or a Royal Oak.
It won't even sit on its side.
If you have a nice pad like this, if you have a Royal Oak, now,
Then
you
it
have,
doesn't matter.
now you have a table clock. Ah! Well, now that we've settled that, and that I'm right and you're wrong on the crown issue.
Yep. Today we're going to review the 25721ST, which is the vintage beast sitting in front of me. And we're going to review the 26238ST, that is the current lineup. First of all, what is your initial thoughts on this watch?
So I love the Beast. Actually, the Beast is one of my favorite watches that came out that AP released. I love the Offshore line. I specifically like the brick, and they did come out with versions in like yellow gold and rose gold throughout the years. The stainless steel version is sick, and I love that this one has aged, and now the dial is just so patinaed.
I'm not a big AP fan. I really don't follow the brand too closely. I mean, I do love AP, but for the most part, I like the older stuff. And when I saw this just completely melted me. I was like, this is incredible. Like, I would wear this watch
Yeah.
all the time.
And I'd actually agree with you. So I've actually, as of recently, so I like the modern stuff like the 15500 and the 26331, like all the Royal Oaks, they're sick. But the more I've been handling and being able to wear some of those watches and seeing the dimensions, you know, the 15400, the 15300, we have a beautiful 15300 right now. When you look at the romance of where the DNA came from,
Right.
it's kind of like when you look at an old Porsche and you see where the DNA is and you see the new ones, it makes you appreciate the new ones even much more now. But then there's a romance from the older ones. So when I see something like this old Beast, or even like the 15.3 or some of the other Royal Oaks, like I just think they're so special.
And of course, I'm a huge fan of Tropic dials, which is what this is. It's a blue dial that actually turned brown. It looks very much the same, but there's a lot of new features about the new one that might interest the guys who are collecting the modern stuff.
Yeah.
Such as the clear back and the quick release. That's something that's actually incredible that they did, because I think that is so handy. Because as somebody who has worked on a lot of APs for my clients, I can tell you it is not easy dealing with their straps and the way their system works. I mean, you really need two screwdrivers to operate. You almost have to have somebody hold. It's
a two-man operation
it
for
can
sure.
be. So, I mean, I've been able to do it by myself many times, but there's also times I had to call somebody over and help me because it's so frustrating.
How many Royal Oaks or Offshores have you seen where the sides of the case are so battered up from?
It looks like a rat chute. At
Yeah,
the,
100%.
It looks like they got chewed up at the end there, and they're all four corners, and it looks hideous like that. And so for them to just be able to just come in here and I think you do it like that, right?
Yeah, it just has two buttons on the end links.
There you go.
That easy.
Are you cool enough to flick it up and then make it latch?
I'm not gonna play that game.
You haven't tried it yet?
I have not tried it. Don't
I feel
try
like that would be, can we try that? Two very interesting watches, to say the least. Very much similar, but very much different. Current market price, tell me about what's going on here.
The 26238, they are out there. I mean, the market's kind of gone soft right now specifically, but you know, prior to the market adjustment, I mean, people were having them at like 90 to 105,000.
Wow.
Now they've settled down to like 75, 70, 80,000, somewhere between there. They're still posted online anywhere between 70 and like 80, 85,000.
My God, I had
Yeah.
no clue they were that high.
Yeah, retail on this is, I believe, 50,000 or 53,000. So
Wow,
out the,
even AP jumped up on there.
some of the stuff that they really did that make this particular release so special to me is the new caliber movement they put in it. It now fills the entire case. So if you had references like the 25710ST diver, yeah, like the diver or some of the other offshores, they all had exhibition case backs, which was great, but they all used a really small movement that they kind of use across the board, and
Right.
it didn't fill the case. On an offshore, it actually looked kind of funky to have this huge watch and then just this tiny little exhibition case back. Now on this new one, they put in the caliber 40, I think it's 4404. It's a flyback chronograph, and it's just
That's
incredible.
Okay, that right there is
Yeah.
why that watch is that expensive.
Yeah, it's a flyback chronograph. For people who are enthusiasts of APs and offshores, the big thing that you noticed immediately was what?
Wow,
that
the seconds
the-
was at the 6.
Yeah, now the seconds has been redirected to the 6, and that's because now that they made the new movement and they try to do all that, they had to rearrange it to actually fit properly into the movement. I think it has the double bridges in there.
And there's a lot more that, okay,
Yeah.
that would justify the price point.
Correct. It's a watch that now has been put into, I think they call it their permanent collection. So this is not going away, but it's also a boutique-only piece of the blue dial.
Current market price on this watch, we are asking, I believe, $38,000 for the watch.
That's a lot of bang for the buck.
It is, obviously it's not going to compete with something with that type of complication. However, it will compete with the price point and what you're getting for nostalgia.
Yeah.
So I think it's obviously very much a conversation piece. If anybody knows AP is going to look closely at that watch, I'm like, why is the dial brown? When they realize it's the original, and
Yeah.
it's old and it's got that patina to it that was earned to the watch essentially. I like the watches. It's that if you know, you know. To close this out, I want to thank Josh for bringing his beast and
Thanks for having me.
comparing these beasts. And I want to know in the comments below: crown up or crown down?
Boom, crown down.